Great to have the double play combination here of Mayor John McCann, Town Manager Marc Orlando in to talk about the town's budget. As this show is rolling, you guys are going to be in meetings to discuss that, a workshop, so to speak. First of all, a tax decrease for those of us who live in Hilton Head Island. How'd that happen?
Well, that was very easy. We had we raised the millage to raise money for the reserve account.
Yeah.
On the money we spent to make sure we were solid if things came back along the way. And we promised.
Because of the hurricane.
Yeah, and we promised the money was going to be returned, and we kept our promise.
Okay, all right. So the millage rate goes down, taxes go down, budget's going up. And that obviously has to reflect some growth, but Marc, tell us
Before you
where
get,
the budget
before
goes
you get
up.
into Marc,
All right.
this year Marc spent a lot of time educating the council members
Yeah.
as to what was in the budget. He had one-on-ones, two-on-twos, whatever it was, so that they had their input as well as the staff, and we were all on the same page when we delivered the budget. So Marc did an excellent job in that preparation, and that's what makes things go smoother along the way.
Yeah. First reading, 7-0 vote, everything all sweet and neat.
Correct.
What's in it? The budget.
Yeah, what's
How are you
in
going to
it?
spend that?
Well,
$119
there's a lot of great initiatives.
Yeah.
First and foremost, there's a $45 million capital improvement program, roads, dirt roads, intersection improvements, pathway improvements, lighting, focusing on our corridor. But also the Planners Row Golf Course, dollars in there to kick off the construction, as well as a few of our other parks.
Will it just kick it off, or you think it'll get a lot of it done, what you've got in this coming year's budget?
Well, the $45 million in this year budget really is the dollars placed in the account.
Right.
It'll take us a couple years to really see what we're after, right? So this is the next phase of the project being, final design, permitting, mobilization, and then really getting into construction. So there's about $5 million placed in the Port Royal tract. The Port Royal master plan will be approved by council.
Yeah.
There's a workshop at the end of the month on it. So as we move through that, there's considerable dollars.
Oh, okay. I guess what I'm asking is, it's going to cost more than the $5 million.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
The
it's okay.
the
It's gonna
plan
be
will
multiple.
cost
Okay.
significantly more, but that's a policy decision that council will make in the coming months.
Right. There's also money in the budget for the public-private partnership on workforce housing
Yes.
up near the post office. About $1
Okay.
million?
Yeah, there's about $1.4 million
Okay.
in there for now,
Yeah.
right? We have to close the bid. That bid closes May 20th. We'll see what we have. We're qualifying different teams, and as we progress in the project, I think the value of our land, the placement of our land, as well as the dollars will go a long way if we find the right partner.
Yeah. And a little pay raise for town staff, who have worked awfully hard through COVID and through all of this.
Sure. Not only that, besides for their hard work and everything, their commitment to whatever we're doing, that's what you need to keep people these days. Everything has increased all over the world, and if we had more money, we'd give them more money, because they deserve it.
Okay.
The other thing you should know, people should know, is that we're managing your money very well. We look at every dime before we spend it. There is no frivolous spending at all, so we manage the money very, very well.
Yeah, and that obviously shows up in this year's budget. Any other little highlights we need to note?
Yeah, the budget really starts focusing on our beach parks, on
Okay.
our corridors, and a lot of our capital, a lot of our assets from a capital improvement standpoint. So.
Yeah, $45 million for capital improvement. That sounds like a lot of money for a lot of different things. How much of it is, like you talked infrastructure, some things like that, dirt roads and whatever. How much of it is whipped cream on top?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
I mean, good.
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, several million dollars for stormwater enhancements, right?
Okay.
Whether it's maintenance, preventative, or routine maintenance along the way, and then a couple of significant new stormwater projects this year in some flood-prone areas. So I think it hits all bases. The one thing that I've proposed to council and showed them is that the projects are spread out throughout our community, and they're focused and aligned with the town council's strategic plan and those goals and strategies that they've endorsed, approved several months ago.
All right.
And Mark's looking at
Yeah.
smart traffic lights. Why don't you go into the smart traffic lights for a second?
Yeah, the adaptive traffic signals,
Yeah.
not just a LiDAR system, but an adaptive signal system in place. We have, scoped and planned for every signal on our island. And so we'll work closely with, the appropriate traffic engineers to right size that,
So like when you hit a one light, you might just hit them all?
right? Yeah, the best
Really?
No, we
The dream?
no, it's not a dream.
Okay.
there's great examples throughout the country.
Yeah.
One system as close as Mount Pleasant up and down
Okay.
Johnny Dodds Boulevard as an example. So it's out there. I think it's going to definitely help traffic on the island. It's not going to change the volume issue,
No.
but it may help the movement from
Yep.
point A to B quite significantly.
And we know it's going to work because we went up to Mount Pleasant Road, took a drive ourselves.
You did it and it worked.
Right? Yes.
All right. Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time talking about the budget. We're going to be back to talk about Bluffton and Beaufort and some great eats and some great times to be had there over this past weekend.